Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Acres of Art. Today I want to show you a tutorial that was actually requested by a lovely lady called Claire, who said, could you add beads to the leaf tutorial that I'd done previously? So the answer is yes, and I will be showing you how to add some beads. But if you have any comments or questions that you want to make in the future, please do put requests into the comment box, and I will try my very best to do them for you, because it's really nice to get requests and to have people asking me to do something. So I am going to just show you a couple of examples of ones that I've already done, and then I'll move on to showing you how to actually create them. So there's a couple of examples here. One of them is I used antique bronze wire and some carnelian gemstone beads, and these are using 2mm beads, so they're really tiny. And this one is alabaster with copper. You can get glass beads that are called seed beads, which are fine if you want to use those, but I still like to use the gemstones. They just have a slightly different look, but they do come in 2mm, which is the same size as a seed bead. But that is quite fiddly because they're so small. So what I'm actually going to show you today is I've got another one here which is silver and rose quartz, and it's using 4mm beads, so it's exactly the same technique. You can just add the beads in exactly the same way, but it's just easier to show you with slightly bigger beads. So I'm going to do that for you now using some lovely 4mm green aventurine is what these ones are called, and I'm going to do it in silver. So it's going to be similar to the rose quartz one, and I'm just going to show you how to wrap it all and add those beads to your leaf. So we're going to start off with some silver plated copper wire. This one is 20 gauge, and that's going to form the shape of your leaf. And then we're going to use the 26 gauge to do your wrapping, to wrap all the beads on. So to start off with, because I'm not actually making this for anything specific, I'm not really going to measure. So I just need a little bit of wire to create my leaf shape, but you can turn these into anything. You can add them onto a necklace. You could make a pair of earrings using them, which I have actually done a tutorial on, using just the leaf without the beads to turn them into a pair of earrings. So you could take a look at that one. But yeah, this is a nice technique. It just adds a little bit of colour and jazz to our leaf. So let's get started. So what I've done is you need your, I can't remember what these are called now. You need your pliers to do a little bit of squeezing, and your cutters. But those are the only two I need to use to make the leaves. And all I do is I create that leaf shape by giving it a squeeze at the top, twist it around a couple of times, and then I use this long piece here to create the kind of central part of my leaf. And then I just want to make this bit at the end a little bit flatter like this, so that I can wrap this bit around the end like that, and then you've created the leaf shape. And I'm just going to chop off the excess because I don't need that little extra bit there, and use my pliers again just to tuck away the ends, because you don't want to be spiking anyone if they wear this. And there's our leaf shape that we've created. So now I'm going to bring in my 26 gauge wire, and I don't really know how much I'm going to need, but as you wrap it, you don't really want to run out. I mean, it's not a major issue if you do run out of wire, because you can just finish it off and then add another piece on, but it's just nicer if you can do it in one continuous loop. So I've just cut off a strand of it there, and I'm going to begin by just kind of poking it into a hole that I can see in the bottom of the leaf, and wrapping it a couple of times just to get my initial strengthening bit. So then I'm going to start by doing one wrap around this side, and then I'm going to add my first bead. So doing the half leaf is a little bit simpler because you're just wrapping back and forth. This one is a little bit more complicated in terms of like you have to do a couple of rows on each side and it just gets a little bit complicated. So that's why I'm showing you this one. So I've added my first bead and I want to make sure that it just sits on the one side of the leaf. And then I'm going to wrap this around here. And I'm going to put another bead so that it sits on the other side. If you get a little kink in your wire, it's not the best when you're trying to put beads on. So you just want to make sure that you straighten that out because the bead won't go over the bump. Sometimes it can snap off as well, which isn't ideal, but let's hope that that doesn't snap. We do sometimes get little kinks into our wire. So, right, adding the next bead. And that one is going to sit on the other side of our central piece. And we're going to wrap that around there. And what I want to do, because these beads are quite big, when you're using your seed beads, you probably only do one wrap and then go back the other way. But because these beads are a little bit bigger, I'm going to wrap a couple of times because I want the wire to come just a little bit further up. So I've wrapped it maybe 3 or 4 times there, and you can see that I'm a little bit higher up now there. So as I add the beads, they're going to sit nicely against the next block. So I'm going to add 2 beads now. It's just judging really how many are going to fit in the space because you don't want lots of gaps and you don't want it like kind of rolling around all over the place. But I'm going to add 2 beads there, and they sit really nicely against the central piece and fill the gap. And then we wrap around the central piece and then we come back and we want to add 2 more beads on the other side. They're very fiddly to pick up. So I've just added 1 more bead there. I need to pop another one on. And there we go. Next bead is on. And then we wrap around the far side. So as you can see, we're just starting to fill it up. Now, pretty obvious, I think I can probably fit 3 and then 4, and then we go back down again until we go to the other end of the leaf. So I am just going to do, again, I want this wire to sit a little bit further up. So I'm just going to wrap maybe 2 or 3 times just to bring the wire into the position that I want it so I can see that the beads will fit. And then I'm going to add my beads. So I'm just going to push that up through there. And this time I'm going to add 3 beads either side. So again, as you can see with it's fiddly enough with the 4mm beads. So if I did it with 2mm, it really would be very fiddly and take rather a long time. But exactly the same technique for all of it. Sorry, that was a different bead then. I didn't want to use that one. Right. So we have 3 beads and it's sitting beautifully in that space. And then I'm just going to wrap it around the central part again. Just like that. And then, as you can see, we can add 3 beads onto the other side. We're just going to keep going like that all the way to the end. I think this would make quite a pretty little pendant, perhaps, if you like these little tiny beads. Right, I've added 3 beads on that side, and again we're going to do about 3 twists around this far side in order to move the wire far enough up to add our next lot of beads. I think I can just about add, I'm going to add 3 and then I'm going to see whether I can pop in a 4th one to fill that gap, and then we'll see where we go, how we go from there. So I just need to push that through. I'm going to pop 3 on and then I'm going to see where we're at. Tip them into my hand, might be a little bit easier. Here we go. So, oh, drives me crazy, these. They're so fiddly. 1, 2, 3 beads are added. Let's have a look at how they sit. No, so I can only just fit 3 beads into that gap, really, I think. So yeah, I'm just going to leave it at 3. Just continue the same process, feeding it through. Just wrapped that now around the central wire, and then I can add another 3 to fill in the gap on the other side. Again, I'm just going to pour them into my hand because it's much easier than trying to pick them out of the pot. 1, 2. Ooh, come on. There we go. 3 added. And wrap it around. I think I can just about go back down now with 2 and 1 just to try and squeeze it in. I'll see. You can make these all sorts of shapes and sizes, whatever you like, really. I just thought I'd show you the technique with a small leaf because you don't need a huge one. And oh, see, that just snapped off. That's what happens. But luckily, I think I'm going to have enough wire to finish it off. So I'm going to add 2. Two on this side and 2 on the other. And we should almost be there. Rolling around. Pick them up. There we go. And 2 fit nicely in there. I don't think I'll fit, I might just fit 1 more up in that corner, but we'll see. I'm just going to squish it around a little bit, change the shape of the leaf a little bit so that I don't, because I can't quite fit a 3rd bead in there. But there's a bit of a gap and I don't like the look of it. Just squash it around a bit. Right, so now I can just about, I think, fit 2 more beads in the top there. Obviously, when you're using your seed beads, you'll use more. It will fill up a bit slower, but use the same technique. And we've almost got a full leaf here. There we go. And all I do, I might just put 1 actually just at the top there because there's a little gap. It's nice just to fill it all in. So I'm just going to keep wrapping this around until I get back up to the top and fit just possibly 1 more bead. Yeah, 1 more bead either side just to fill in those holes. Just try and get that out. There we go. Right. Yep. Give it a little push to fill that gap. And then we're nearly there. So I just want to finish it off on this side as well. See if I fit 1. I can't actually. I think I'm going to leave it like that. Don't think I can squash another bead in. So there we have our leaf, bead filled leaf. And what I do to finish off is I just wrap this around a few times. Because that 20 gauge wire is much bigger, it kind of takes quite a bit of this 26 gauge, and I can just keep wrapping it around so it's not going to come undone, and tuck the end of the wire away. And there you have it. Really simple way to fill a leaf, sorry, with your beads, but it's really effective, looks really pretty. And what you could do is, I've got 2 different ones here, and I could put them next to each other and just twist, just to show you how to turn it into something else really, and just twist them together like so. And then I could just add a little loop or a hook on the end, and you've got a pendant or a pair of earrings. Really effective, really pretty way of creating your leaf. So I hope that helped. And Claire, I do hope that you can watch it and see how to add the leaves. Thank you for your request. If you enjoy what you're watching, please subscribe, leave a like. I love to hear from you, and I hope to catch you again soon. Bye.